Redefining the therapeutic relationship. In the realm of psychotherapy, the therapeutic relationship has undergone significant reconceptualization over the past few decades. Traditionally viewed through the lens of a hierarchical dynamic, where the therapist is the expert and the client the recipient, contemporary discourse increasingly frames this relationship as a collaborative partnership. This shift mirrors broader societal movements towards egalitarianism and shared agency, reflecting an understanding that healing is not a prescriptive act, but a co-constructed journey. Pause. Central to this redefinition is the recognition that both therapist and client bring valuable expertise and perspective. The therapist's expertise lies in their understanding of psychological theories, therapeutic techniques, and the navigation of emotional landscapes. The client, on the other hand, is the expert on their own life, possessing intimate knowledge of their experiences, desires, and values. By acknowledging this dual expertise, therapists can foster a relationship that is not only more egalitarian, but also more effective. Emerging theories, such as the relational cultural theory, emphasize the importance of mutual empathy and attunement, suggesting that healing occurs through growth-fostering relationships, characterized by authenticity and mutual respect. In practical terms, this involves the therapist engaging in active listening, validating the client's experiences, and demonstrating genuine empathy. Rather than dictating a path to wellness, the therapist collaborates with the client to uncover pathways that resonate uniquely with them. Critically examining various therapeutic approaches, we observe divergent emphases on the therapeutic relationship. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance, has traditionally been critiqued for its structured nature, potentially minimizing the relational component. However, contemporary practice has seen CBT evolve to incorporate more relational elements, recognizing that the therapeutic alliance is a significant predictor of treatment outcomes. Conversely, humanistic approaches, such as person-centered therapy, inherently prioritize the therapeutic relationship, positing that the provision of unconditional positive regard, empathy, and congruence by the therapist forms the bedrock of effective therapy. Pause. Actionable strategies for practitioners include the intentional cultivation of a therapeutic environment that prioritizes safety and trust. This involves continuous self-reflection and the development of cultural humility, allowing therapists to remain open to learning from the client's cultural context and lived experiences. Techniques such as motivational interviewing also offer practical frameworks for building a collaborative relationship by exploring and resolving ambivalence in a manner that honors the client's autonomy and insight. And the landscape of therapeutic relationships is further enriched by interdisciplinary insights. For instance, neurobiological research highlights the importance of attunement and co-regulation in shaping neural pathways, suggesting that the relational dynamics within therapy can have profound physiological effects. This interplay between psychology and neuroscience underscores the need for therapists to be attuned not only to verbal communication, but also to the nonverbal cues that contribute to a client's sense of safety and connection. Pause. To illustrate these concepts, consider a case study of a client navigating trauma recovery. The client, having experienced a traumatic event, enters therapy exhibiting symptoms of hypervigilance and emotional dysregulation. The therapist, drawing on the principles of trauma-informed care, prioritizes the establishment of trust and safety. By adopting a stance of curiosity and openness, the therapist encourages the client to share their narrative at their own pace, acknowledging the client's resilience and capacity for self-healing. Through this partnership, the client begins to experience a reduction in symptoms, as the therapeutic relationship itself becomes a corrective emotional experience that fosters healing. In another case, a client seeks therapy for difficulties in interpersonal relationships, characterized by a pervasive sense of not being good enough. The therapist, employing principles from attachment theory, recognizes the impact of early relational experiences on the client's current dynamics. Through the therapeutic relationship, characterized by consistent empathy and acceptance, the client explores and reframes their self-perceptions. This relational work not only alleviates the client's immediate distress, but also equips them with new relational patterns that enhance their interactions outside of therapy. The redefinition of the therapeutic relationship also necessitates a critical examination of power dynamics. Therapists must be mindful of the inherent power imbalances and actively work to mitigate these through transparency and collaboration. This involves sharing decision-making processes, setting goals collaboratively, and respecting the client's pace and preferences. C. It is also essential to consider the socio-cultural context of the therapeutic relationship. Factors such as race, gender, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status can influence the dynamics within therapy, necessitating a culturally responsive approach. By integrating cultural competence and humility, therapists can better understand and navigate these dynamics, ensuring that therapy is inclusive and affirming for clients from diverse backgrounds. While the redefined therapeutic relationship offers numerous benefits, it is not without challenges. The blurring of boundaries between therapist and client roles can lead to ethical dilemmas, necessitating clear guidelines and supervision to ensure that the relationship remains professional and therapeutic. Moreover, the emphasis on collaboration may not resonate with all clients, particularly those who seek more directive guidance. Thus, therapists must remain adaptable, attuning their approach to the unique needs and preferences of each client. In summary, redefining the therapeutic relationship as a partnership is a multifaceted endeavor that demands both theoretical sophistication and practical application. It calls for therapists to engage with clients as collaborators, honoring their expertise and autonomy. By fostering relationships grounded in empathy, mutual respect, and cultural humility, therapists can create a healing environment that transcends traditional paradigms, paving the way for transformative change. As the field continues to evolve, it remains imperative for practitioners to engage with emerging research, interdisciplinary insights, and reflective practices to sustain and enhance the efficacy of these partnerships.